Good morning, everyone. We were starting. Last time we were discussing about the concept of your environmental pollution, and that I will continue in today's class also, including if time permits, then we can go for the environment and development. That is also in your module one. That also I want to cover. I will try to cover. So let us begin the presentations for tomorrow today. Uh, Actually, that I already have started. Air pollution, up to that much we have covered. What are
Yes,
the
sir.
reasons? What are the reasons for air pollution that we have covered? Now we need to go from slide number 5. See, uh, as per this World Bank, about 8 as per the means, according to your World Bank report, at about 87% of your world's population, they are now living in countries where air pollution levels exceed the guiding level, whatever the air quality guidance set by the World Health Organization is there. So most of the populations, like at about 90% populations, those who are living in the world, they are living in a situation where the quality of air is not that much up to that mark. That means in where air pollution levels it exceeds whatever the uh, guidelines that has been prescribed by the World Health Organization. So that the World Health Organization's report, WHO report, it also points out that the situation in case of your low as well as in case of your middle income countries, that are very much alarming, because here 90% of the populations were exposed to dangerous levels of air pollution in the recent years. So where in case of developed state, they have the air pollution, but if we go for your low and middle income countries, they are having much more air pollution than that of your developed nations. Now it seems something like odd, because in case of developed nations they have the industries, they have the factories, then why these countries they are having more air pollution in case of low and middle income group countries than that of your developed nations? Because see, nowadays, except in case of your Asian countries, if you go to the European countries or American countries, they have very rigid limit in case of opening any industries. So what they used to do, they are only busy with preparing all the intellectual property related matters, and the labors they used to give it to the Asian countries. It may be the Korea, it may be the China, it may be Bangladesh or India. So factories, their industries, they are being established in those countries, low and middle income countries, and the developed nations they are only uh, focusing on innovations. So that is the reasons the developed nations they are not having that much of air pollution than that of your low and middle income group countries. So WHO report it also brings out to that air pollution it poses a health hazard, and it is responsible for high mortality rate as well. So it is claimed that premature mortality due to air pollution it has been increased at about 30% from 1990 to 2015, and at about 3 million deaths per annum, it can cause because of your air pollution. Now, ambient air quality it has become claimed to be you know, one of the leading fatal health risk globally. So it must also be remembered that the air pollution is not just a health hazard, but it also adversely affects agricultural productivity and development. Okay, so that is also there with the air pollution, because in case of air pollution, it has its impact in case in agriculture as well as in case of other agricultural products and development. So India, it's also not outside the situation of air pollution. If we have the reports, then accordingly, at about 1.2 million people they die in India annually on account of air pollution related diseases, and it costs around 3% of India's domestic product, gross domestic GDP. gross domestic product. So large number of people in India, they continue to use solid fuels like charcoal, then wood, then dung, for cooking and for heating. That increases household air pollution level, which affects millions of people in India and billions globally, especially in case of your developing and least developed countries, and making them prone to severe health hazards to air pollution. So these are the alarming situation in case of air pollution. We are all aware about that how much air are being polluted day by day, and it is the increasing level is too much. So that is the next second concept in case of your air pollution. Next, we can go for your water pollution. So if you have any problem, then please tell me. Any doubt also, you need to inform me, because I will go. These are not that much critical in sense, but if you have anything to say or anything to ask, that you can ask in between the lecture also, no problem. Now let's go to the with air pollution. I think you may not have any questions, and if you have any questions, please ask me. More means detail in detail way, because that is the module 1 where we need to talk about the environmental pollution. That is the reasons I am dealing with these matters. Next one is your water pollution. See, water pollution, it is one more another issue which is facing the humankind at which is being faced by the humankind at global level. Now, discharge of your like sewage, then your industrial effluent and other discharges into water bodies, that has polluted major rivers across the globe, and it has, this is more in case of your developing countries. So same thing in case of developing countries, they are not aware about the water pollution, and that is the reason in case of discharging sewage and industrial effluent, that are creating more and more water pollution in the developing countries. So in case of India, it is claimed that 80% of India's surface water is already polluted. So that is also, we need to accept that most of the India's um, your surface water, it's polluted because of this unawareness among the people. uh, if we go to the Central Pollution Control Board, they have estimated that 80% of water pollution, it is from the domestic sewage, because untreated sewage, it flows into the water bodies, which has polluted all major rivers in India. So not only it is the domestic sewage that are creating water pollution, both industry as well as domestic sewage, they have contributed to the water pollution at about in case of at about 80% level. So 80% of India's surface water that are already polluted. So not only this, there is problem of pollution of groundwater, which is also caused by unregulated industrial activities. So that is also being done because of these industrial activities. They are not being regulated in a proper manner. So they are causing your pollution in the groundwater also. Now, common pollutants on groundwater, it can be including like arsenic, then fluoride, then nitrate, then iron, then bacteria, phosphates, and heavy metals are there. And if you talk about the contaminants, that it can either in the groundwater, it can be through the overuse of your fertilizers, pesticides, then insecticides, and septic tanks also. So these are the reasons for which the groundwater become contaminated because of those things. Now, it reveals that in majority of the states, groundwater already have been contaminated. So is it reported? It is reported that the water is nearly at about 200 wells in one village in West Bengal. They were being contaminated by high arsenic content, and the villagers, they were using the same water for drinking purposes as well. Because you may have been aware that in some parts of the suburban area of your Kolkata, the people who are living, are they need to take the drinking water which have been which are already been contaminated with arsenic, and that is one of the most problematic issue what the West Bengal government, they are also facing. Now the incidence of like such contamination, it is on the rise, and the situation is aggravated by, again, for over utilizations of groundwater, which can be because of your loading pressure that can deplete it on groundwater, and it is claimed that India's groundwater future is at stake. Okay, as it is there that in case of your former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he used to say that the Third World War it may be may happen because of the water or clean water. So we are also facing the problem in case of West Bengal. We are also facing in case of India and all over the world also. So that is also creating problem in the matter of your water pollution, and that is the concern for all the authority and the people, that how to reduce the water pollution level into the entire world in India as well as in local local areas like West Bengal or Kolkata or suburban area of Kolkata. Okay, so that is all about here means water pollution, means what we can say regarding environmental pollution, because we need to mention all these things in that first module. And I think from here also you may not have any questions. If any questions, then please raise. If anything to say also, because discussion is needed. Otherwise, whatever I will say and you need to listen, that should not be. You also have your own opinion, and it is not that we are not aware about that. So those topics, we are all aware about these topics. So it is better that we can expect that both of us, from my side and from your side, we have healthy discussions regarding that matter. So always you are welcome to have a discussion on these things. So is there anything to say from your side regarding either air pollution or water pollution?
No, sir. No, sir, as of now.
Okay, later on also, if when you will read, you will we will also have a discussion. No problem. So now let me go to the next one. That is your noise pollution. Okay. Now, noise pollution is also presenting a significant environmental concern in the recent years. So, noise pollution, it has a stringent impact on human health, and recent data that has shown that proportionate of hearing loss it can attribute to the noise pollution. So, as per a recent study, whatever has been done in 2017, where noise pollution levels in 50 cities, 50 cities across the globe was measured, and it was found that in case of one city in China, it is worst affected, followed by New Delhi in India. Okay. So, and in that case, Mumbai also it ranks fourth worst city in terms of noise pollution. So that is also one kinds of alarming situations regarding the noise pollution. What are not only the entire world is facing, India is also facing too much problem regarding the noise pollution. Now the studies they have found that excessive noise pollution is not only causing discomfort and other related diseases, but it is also responsible for hearing loss. Okay, so if excessive noise is there, definitely it will create some kinds of discomfort. But on the other hand, it will also try to cause problem regarding the hearing loss. So as per your WHO report, more than at about 300 360 million people, they are being afflicted by hearing loss, and of these around 32 million are children. Okay, so that this much alarming situation is there regarding the noise pollution. So average city dwellers is found to have being hearing loss equivalent to your 10 to 20 years older than the actual age. So really in some of the cities, the people they used to lose here in case of like if 80 years, then because of these alarming situations, they can lose their hair 10 to 20 years ago. Unfortunately, in case of your hearing loss rank, New Delhi it tops the globe, and it is being followed by Mumbai, where maximum hearing loss of 20 years than the actual age is reported, and it is being the report it is being published in 2017. So that much alarming cause is there in case of your noise pollution in terms of India also, and we need to take care about all these things. We need to concern about all these things. We have to learn and we have to study, and that is the reason from secondary education level, the environmental become the compulsory paper in graduation also, and in some cases post graduation also, so that people should be aware about the environmental pollution and they can be the concerned citizens who in the future they can take action in order to reduce those type of pollutions. Okay, so that is also one of the study purpose of this studying the environmental law. Okay, in case next it was the soil pollution. Soil, in case of soil degradation, it can be another serious environmental challenge that is being faced by the modern world. So soil pollution, it means the presence of chemicals in excessive nature into the natural composition of the soil, which can degrade the soil. So whenever the presence of chemicals is excessive in nature in the soil, it can cause degradation of the soil. Soil pollution and soil degradation is the result of various human activities like use of excessive fertilizers or pesticides or your insecticides, even some agricultural practices, bad agricultural practices. Antibiotics it can contain in case of your animal manure, then sewage, then waste dumping, then industrial and mining activities. It can lead to increase the chemical level into the soil. As per your Food and Agricultural Organization (FAO) of United Nations, it has been reported that 1/3 of the world soils are degraded, and billions of tons of soils are lost to farming each year. Okay, so if in this way the soil getting degraded, then definitely it will create problem in the future to go for your farming, because we have to survive on eating fruits, vegetables, and other things, and all are being produced by the soil. So if soils are being contaminated in degraded regularly because of the use of those type of things like pesticides, insecticides, fertilizers, or wastage or sewage, then definitely it can degrade the quality of the soil, and it is an alarming situations according to the report of the Food and Agricultural Organizations of the United Nations, which has reported that almost 1/3 of your world soils they are already degraded, and billions of tons of soils they are also lost to farming per year. So it has seriously affected farmlands also. Now the problem, it has affected various nations of the world. It is not only that one nations they are suffering the problem of degradation of soil or soil pollutions. Almost all the nations they are facing the same problem. So one joint study conducted by Environment, and they have reported in 2014 that 16% of your China's soils are polluted, and the figure for farmlands that are higher in amount. Okay, so the main contaminants that are like cadmium, then you have nickel, then arsenic. So these are the minerals or things that are creating your soil pollution. And as per the report of your Food and Agricultural Organizations, at about 40% of your African continent soils that are also degraded. And in case of India, it has also been facing the problem at a larger scale. Around 40 to 70% of land in India, it has undergone desertification. So that also an alarming situation regarding the soil pollution. So from this all we can understand that how much importance is there in case of your studying environmental law, because until and unless we can regulate this pollution, then definitely it will create a huge problem for the entire mankind as well as for the other living organisms who are there in the world. And that is the reasons we have to study the paper in proper way, so that we can give recommendations to the government. We can make aware the people that not to go for creating pollution into the environment. And with these objectives we are studying the law, and that is the reason in the first occasion I thought that I need to go for this problem of alarming environmental degradation problem, so that you have the interest to study the law, because this law is too much essential. And here also it is the duty of all the human mankind that they need to take care of the others also, and especially for the law students, because they know where the regulation is there, how to regulate, and what will be the consequences for not following the proper methods or proper way of using the environment. So that is the reason. So we have to give focus on the environmental pollution at first. Then we will talk one by one all other things. Next one is about your climate change, and regarding this climate change, we can say that this is also one of the most serious issues that are being caused by environmental degradation, and that is the climate change, which has a very serious effect on your human beings. Not only in human beings, also have its effect on ecosystems and other living organisms also. Climate change, it implies changes in the usual weather at a particular place over a period of time. Okay, that is, we are saying that climate change, because when we are talking about climate change, it means that the change is there regarding the usual weather, whatever has been found in a particular place over a period of time. It may be regarding like your rainfall spells, then rainfall quantum. It may be the duration of rainfall, timing of rainfall, then changes in the temperature, changes in case of your winter season, etc. So these are the reasons for your climate change, and it has, if it has happened during a period of time over a particular period, particular area, then it can be termed as your climate change. Now, it implies changes in Earth's climates in totality. Now, climate change was considered to be a rhetoric by majority of the people around the world, but now it has been scientifically established that Earth climate is actually changing. It is scientifically established. No one can deny it that that Earth climate is not changing, and it is we people who are the main culprit behind all these problems. It has been reported that annual average surface air temperature of the earth, it has already been increased at about 1.8 degree Fahrenheit during the last 115 years. Okay, so that is an alarming situation, so because temperature of the earth, it has been increasing day by day. Has happened, increase of 2 degree Fahrenheit as already has happened during the last 115 years. Now, climate change, it can manifest in various forms, including in the form of your global temperature rise or the resultant effects of the same, like shrinking of your ice sheets on the pole, North Pole and South Pole, melting of glaciers around the globe, like in case of Himalaya, Alaska, or Alps, because they are also glaciers, they are being melting. Rise in case of sea level, that is also, it happens due to climate change, and threat to the survival of coastal cities or the nations. Okay, so that these are the things which are examples for the effect of climate change, what has taken place during the last number of years, a huge number of years. And it is scientifically proven also. No one can deny that climate change is not occurring in to the world. That is, has been proved, and it is been done in day by day manner. So that is about your climate change. Okay, up to that much, everything is okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, is the melting of glacier is it the main cause of the rising up of sea level?
Yeah, definitely. If one way the glaciers they are being melting, then another way the rise in sea level will be there. So these are also related to one another, because one way, if in South Pole and North Pole they are facing problem, or the Himalayas, Alps, they are facing problem, then in that way, melting of glaciers, definitely it will create rise in the sea level. It can be. And these are to scientifically proven, no one can deny. Achha. Next was in your waste generation and waste management. So one of the serious threats that is being posed by unregulated activities of mankind and increase in population is the increasing waste generation in countries by domestic, commercial and industrial activities, and the threat that are being posed by unscientific management of such waste to the environment across the frontiers. So that is also there because with the increasing populations, it is very true that we are facing problems regarding the waste management, and that is regarding the unscientific management of the waste, which are creating problem to the environment also. And with the advancement of your science and technology, as well as in case of your increasing in consumer comforts and consumer goods, the quantum of waste generation is also on the increasing level. And this waste, it can include like municipal solid waste, plastic waste, construction waste, then biomedical waste, then we have electronic waste also, hazardous waste, then we have the commercial waste, sewage, untreated effluent from industries, and as also atomic waste. So if this waste is not being managed in a scientific way, then it will definitely poses threat to the environment. So the problem is acute in developing countries, like in case of China as well as in case of India. And the waste is not only polluting the soil, air and water, but the hazardous waste is also causing serious health hazards to the people. So these are the problems that are being created because of the waste management, because waste with increasing populations, increasement of waste is also there. But thing is that it has been done in an unscientific management way, that the people, they don't have any idea that how to go for dispose of the solid waste. And because of this not managing scientifically, it will try to create a threat to the environment. And this is also acute in case of your developing countries, particularly in case of your India and China also. And this waste is not only polluting the soil, air, and water, but the hazardous waste is also causing serious health hazards to the people. Then loss of biodiversity. Biological diversity is very important for the existence of your ecosystems, for the survival of the ecosystems, and its ability to prevent and recover from disasters. That we know, because in case of the earth, it has been designed in such a way that every organs, every type of tree, every type of animal, they should live together, so that this biological diversity, it should be present. And in case of like if we are talking about the importance of biological diversity, then definitely it has its existence in the ecosystems and for the survival of the ecosystem, as well as biological diversity have the ability to prevent and recover from any kinds of disasters. So biological diversity, it can be referred to as diversity in various kinds of genes and species. Okay, so it includes within itself your infinite variety of life forms, variety of specific in case of your flora and fauna, then variety of ecosystem, variations of gene in individual species. So various human activities, they have either direct or indirect impact on biological diversity. Now, due to the loss of your habitat, then soil degradation, then climate change, then pollution and over exploitation of biological resources, substantial and irreversible loss to the biodiversity, it has been reported. So loss of biodiversity, it will have disastrous consequences on ecosystem, livelihood, health, and ultimately survival of the people. So we know that how much importance is there in case of your biological diversity. But if one of the species or organs or gene, it is not being found in case of your in the world, then definitely it will have its impact on the environment, and it will be creating problem for the others living organs or the living mankind also. As it has been told that sometimes it has been found that if a butterfly are not there in the earth, then definitely it will create problem for the mankind that they may not survive also. Like this type of things are being there because the nature has been created in such a way that every organs, every species, every genes, they have their own role to play in this environment. So affecting one, definitely it will cause effect to others also. Here I need to talk something on your development versus environment. That is also one of the topic that we need to talk about. The second topic, one third topic, environment, environmental pollution, and development and environment. So when we are talking about the importance of environment, we can say that the economic significance of the environment, it is evident with the range of the ecosystem services that it offers. It likes your provisioning services like food, irrigation, drinking water, regulating services like climate regulations, water quality regulations, then cultural services like recreational and religious services, supporting services like nutrient recycling, soil formation. Millions of households and developmental activities utilize these ecosystem services for production and for consumption. Uh, Rapid industrializations and urbanizations, they are inevitable to bring in desired levels of economic development. And this is also believed to be essential to substantially increase the per capita income. However, the income generating activities are sure to have negative environmental consequences such as pollution. And noticeably, environmental quality is being compromised for the goals of the mass employment generations and poverty reductions. In next way, we can say that it is believed that with the gradual increase in income levels along with growth in financial and technological capabilities, environment quality could be restored. But the reality is that the continued growth generating activities only increasing deteriorates the environmental quality. That also we need to accept, because when we are talking about the sustainable development, the concept later on I will talk about. Now we are talking about environment and development, or development and environment, but that is the different concept from sustainable development. In case of sustainable development, that means development, it should be for everyone. It is not for only one group of people or only for the mankind. So while going for development, you need to take care of the other organs, others living creatures of the nature, so that it can be developed along with everyone. It is not the development only for a group of people or a group of mankind or a group of human being. That should not be. It should be sustainable. Uh, Lack of environmental compliance. So neglect of environmental principles is a key reason why natural hazards end up causing a significant number of avoidable causalities. Okay, so any increase to scientifically ascertain the risk from natural hazards to a region are barely implemented in the right spirit. Unregulated quarrying and the unscientific cutting of slopes into hills, it aggravates the risk of soil erosion, and subsequently it increases the risk of landslides also. And if we talk about ill effects of subsidies, then we can say that in pursuit of providing welfare to vulnerable sections of the society, the government has proved a bulk of subsidies. Now, the subsidized nature of services like energy and electricity, it can lead to their overuse and undermines environmental sustainability. Further, subsidies also undermine the revenue base and limit the government's capacity to invest in new, cleaner technologies. Next one is here that no cost to environmental resources. Now, access to natural resources is entirely open, and no individual user bears the full cost of environmental degradation, and resources are consequently overused. The last what we can talk about is that complexity of population dynamics. Now, increasing population, it tends to exaggerate the linkages between underemployment and environmental degradation. Further, poverty generates significant incentives to raise large families and stimulate migration, which makes urban areas environmentally unsustainable. So both outcomes increases pressures on resources and consequently worsen the environment quality, diminish productivity, and reinforce poverty. Okay. So these are the causes regarding your developmental factors affecting environmental sustainability. So that is what I need to talk in our today's lectures entirely from beginning to end. We have highlighted the environment pollution in different terms. Either it may be the air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution. We have also talked about noise pollution. We have also talked about the loss of biodiversity. We also talked about regarding the development and environment. So in that way, things will go on one by one. Next day, in our next class, we will also come out with a new topic, whatever is there in your syllabus, and in this way, we will go ahead. So let us now stop the record, and then we can have a discussion if you have to say anything.